So good morning, everybody, and to everybody a good morning. Do me a favor, invite somebody to share. This morning, we're going to be talking about um, the wisdom to know and the skill to do. If people had the wisdom to know and the skill to do, a lot of the chaos that we see in our world wouldn't exist. But we have too many people in many positions. They don't belong there. They don't deserve it. Uh, an earned degree does not give you wisdom, and the job doesn't give you experience. We're going to be talking about that and more today. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to invite somebody, share, tell them coffee time is on. We'll be back right after this.
Uh, uh, coffee time. Uh huh. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right. In my life, it's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on, coffee time, coffee time. In my life, coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on. Time in my life. Coffee.
And good morning, good morning, good morning again. It's another day that God's been faithful, another Friday we've been blessed to see. And for that, I think all of us are to be grateful. There's a level of gratefulness that we should have for his faithfulness. You need to know that it's not your lightning fast mind. It's not your skill or your trade. It's not your abilities. It's by his grace that you're here. And for that, you don't have to be religious to say thank you. You don't have to know a lot to say thank you. Thank you, God. So good morning to everybody. Do me a favor, everybody, invite somebody to share. I'm going to do call-ins this morning. Yeah, we did it yesterday. It went over extremely well. We're going to do it again today, but this morning we're going to be talking about wisdom to know, skill to do. Wisdom to know, skill to do. What happens a lot of times, especially in America, is that when you're privileged, you don't have to have wisdom. When you're privileged, you don't have to have skill. When you have the complexion for protection, if you're white, chances are you can get a job, and it's really not hard to do because of your skin tone. Wherein someone else, black people, let me say it that way, we have to scratch and survive for everything that we get. So I want to speak to my black sisters and brothers, my Caucasian brothers and sisters as well. I want to say to my black sisters and brothers, my black queens and kings, kings and queens, there is never a time when you should not be prepared and be on your game. Think about that. There's never a time you shouldn't be prepared and be on your game. Just like now, you can hear me, but you can't see me. But my ability to speak does not change because I don't have focus or the focus is not on me. For so many of us, this is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get yourself in a place and in a position where you are constantly working on you, bettering you. Even when the spotlight is not on you, you need to be working diligently, perfecting your craft, because I believe that the time is coming when we will rule again. Now, when I talk about rule again, this is not um, to put other races of people down. I know here in America, whenever you pro-black anything, they think that you're anti-white. It's not the case at all. One of the reasons we have to be pro-black and attack things like this head on is because blacks are deemed the minority. Blacks are the ones that are ostracized. Blacks are the ones that are targeted. Blacks are the ones that are discriminated against. It doesn't mean outside of black discrimination does not exist. It just means we're the target. So when you are the target, you have to remind yourself and you have to hear on a consistent basis who you are, because if you listen to what goes on in society, I promise you, you're going to begin to think less of yourself, because we know by what we hear. Whatever environment yields as it relates to listening, that's how we know. So our knowing comes from hearing. Our understanding is conditioned by hearing. So the more we hear black minority, minorities are blacks, the more you begin to think in your mind, that's what you are. And when you become what they say, you're going to have what they intended. So you have to raise your level of thinking by raising your hearing, and you have to hear more of the right things in order to combat the wrong things. So I want black people to know that you are kings and queens, and the time is going to come when you will reign again. I read a report yesterday. It was an article, and it was very interesting. One of the things that it says that Caucasians were 80% of America's population. And that was just some 10, 15 years ago. As of now, and this is what they're reporting, as of now, they are about 60% of America's population. Now, forgive me and pardon my rudeness. Let me get my good mornings out of the way. Tina White McPherson, good morning. Miss Renika, good morning. Teresa Bryant, good morning, and thanks for sharing. Michelle Byers, good morning. Rhonda Oliver, good morning. Duchess O'Neill, good morning. Vonda Oliver, good morning. Good morning, everybody that's on. If I did not call your name, it's not intentionally. You didn't say anything for me to know that you were there. All right. So now they're saying that Caucasian Americans are 60% of the U.S. population. Now, I have my own beliefs. If the black dollar is the most powerful source of commodity in America, if the black dollar is the single strongest commodity in America, in my opinion, that means we are the majority. How is it, and these are the stats, that black Americans, people of color, are only 17% of the U.S. population, but our dollar is the strongest and our vote is the greatest? How, Sway? The numbers don't add up. Now, the numbers from the Bureau of Statistics say that black people, people of color, African Americans, are only 13 to 17% of the U.S. population. Of the 13, 17%, 8%, I believe, are women. No. Of the 17%, 10% are women, 7% are men. Of the 7%, I put these numbers out earlier. People came on my post trashing me. I didn't write the numbers. I just quoted them. Of the 7%, it is said that 85% of all prisons are filled with black and brown people. Now, if the numbers are stretched, I didn't create them. So then, how is it that we're 17% of the population? Let's just say on the fly, 5% male and female are incarcerated. That takes us down to 12. But the black dollar is the strongest in the economy. I have problems with that. It just doesn't add up. Are you suggesting that black people spend more money and we spend at such a high level that it circulates to keep the entire nation running? Just doesn't add up. Miss Renika says they think that because when they are pro-white anything, they are anti all others. That's exactly right. So just because we praise black people doesn't mean that we're anti anything. It just means we praise black people. And we have to praise each other because there's nothing in our society that reflects who we are. Yeah, Hollywood, it goes to the extreme of making us filthy rich or making us filthy poor. There's nothing in the middle. There's nothing that shows all side of black. So we have to create our own stages and platforms to remind our people who they are, because if we were to leave it to the news, to TV, I'm going to say something. You know, if something happens to your family, find someone in your family who can articulate to be the spokesman for your family. Here's what America does. They find the cheesiest people to put on TV to represent us, as if to say, this is who we are. And they forget that when they came to Africa, they didn't capture slaves. No, they captured engineers, doctors, attorneys. We were the forward thinkers that were captured, brought to America, and America was built at the hands of black people. So we have the wisdom and we have the skill. We just don't get the credit. And this is why, and I'm going to say to you today, as I've said many times before, this is why you've got to make sure that you stay on your game. You cannot afford to slip because they're waiting for you to do that. You can't afford to do anything silly because they're waiting for you to do that. Sometimes we give them the burden of proof that they need by acting out the way they want us to act. We have to show them who we really are. We've got to always be ready. You can't afford to go to work and be late, because no matter what your skill is, it doesn't matter how high your skill is. It doesn't matter what level of wisdom that you're operating on. If you don't have good credibility, no one's going to listen to you. Pickett, you're talking good. I know it. No one's going to listen to you. If you can't show up on work on time, no one's going to listen to you. I believe with all my heart, and the proof is in the pudding, that black people are extremely gifted and special. And here's how, and why I say that, not to knock any other nationality, but look at what we've done in America. And look at what we had to work with. We didn't have much. They sure didn't give us anything. And still, we've been able to rise. We dominate sports. We dominate math. We're all in the legal system. And right now, to complement, we've had a black president. In the highest office in the world, there is a black woman who's vice president of the United States. That says a lot about black people. It says that no matter how many times we are pushed down, oppressed, no matter how many times we're not treated equal, still some kind of way, we find a way to rise and go back to the top. It's the skill. There's a wisdom that we have. Let me tell you something. There's a wisdom that's operating in you that you don't even give credence or credit to. You don't even know it's there. But let me bring up a couple of scenarios. And then I'm going to read some of the comments. Let me give you proof. How many times have you been en route anywhere and something just spoke to you and told you to stop? You stopped and avoided an accident, or you went and it avoided an accident. How many times have you created something in your mind, you didn't share it with anybody, and then you didn't act on it, and maybe months or years later, you see it on TV? Well, these are signs. These are signs of the greatness that is in you. You cannot depend on your society to tell you how great you are, because you got to remember your society hates you. This is not building hate. These are stating facts. The fact is, you are Black America. You're hated. You're hated because you are a threat. You are a threat because they know just how wise you are. You created the stoplight. You created the red light. You created electricity. I know we don't get the credit for it, but if you do the research, there were 3 black men in the room who were doing all the testing, while the white boy that gets the credit was in and out. Now, how are they doing the testing, but he gets the credit when it's discovered? Black people, you created cell phones. Have you ever been to Egypt and seen the pyramids? Black people, you did that. Now watch. They will demonize us when we praise us, when we congratulate us to try and lift us, because their only position for us is down. So whenever you have a voice or a person that is not speaking down, they do not reflect the culture. Ignorance is not their tale to be promoted. So when you have someone who can articulate, who's accurate, they demonize them and try and find ways to discredit them so you don't listen to them, because their vision of you is down. They believe that they're superior, not because they've attained or earned anything. They believe that they're superior just by the complexion of their skin. Black people, you've got to see how special you are. There's a grace that is available for you, that if you start listening to that grace inside of you, not only will you never be broke, but you will create a wealth for generations to come that surpasses anything that is now. Now, it takes skill, it takes training, it takes discipline. It does take hard work. But when you're operating within the confines of grace that's available for you, it makes the toughest task a little bit easier. Look at what you've done with the little you've been given. You have the wisdom to know, and you have the skill to do. Listen, if you were not important, I want you to look from corporate America to the White House, to the church house, to the dog house. Listen to me. There is someone of color calling the shots behind the scene. They may not be getting the credit for it. Let's look at corporate America for a reason. Let's look at corporate America. In corporate America, the people that make the decisions aren't the people that are doing the work. Call centers are filled with black people dealing with the customer. Did you not know that it's the customer base that causes the company to grow? Without good customer service, the business will eventually go out of business. You need someone who has people skills, and you can't be poisoned by the experiences that you had. You went to Popeyes on Edgewood right before Myrtle or Avenue B, and Vanquisha came to the window. What's your order? That's not who we are. It's a percentage. But I can take you to some trailer parks where there's some white people who do the same. However, they don't put them on TV because that is not the image that they want portrayed. The mere fact that there's nothing in our society that reflects how smart we are, how creative we are, is a sign that there's something they're trying to hide. When you look at women like Vanessa Robinson brought up, Stacey Abrams, a modern day Harriet Tubman, who single-handedly turned her entire state. Let me tell you how awesome that is. You have people sitting in the highest office of churches. They can't turn their congregation. This woman changed the entire state. It's brilliance in black. It's brilliance in being black. And I want to remind this, and I want to say this to you because it's not something that you're accustomed to hearing. The world doesn't like when we talk like this. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and ruin my little show. The world sees what a threat we are. They see it. This is why there's an attack against us. Miss Renika says, right. You only try to discredit someone who is threatening to you. Nobody bothers a bag lady. Bag lady's not getting robbed. Why? Because she has nothing to offer. A robber passes the bag lady to get inside of the store to rob the person who has the dough. Black people, the reason you've been robbed is you're people of value. You're brilliant. You survived not only today, but hundreds of years of slavery and oppression. When I think about the cameras that we have available now, camera phones, cell phones, and how we're able to record, such as in the case of George Floyd, I also think about how many acts of injustices occurred without cameras. What were they doing in the 70s, 80s, and 90s? Injustices just didn't start. It's been going on since we've been here. Technology has just caught up to the place where it's able to capture what's happening, and social media has given us a platform where we can share it. Benny Cooper said, you're absolutely right, and sometimes it's us that help to highlight the small percentage of black deficiencies. That is so correct. Let me read some more of the comments. DeJuan McIntyre says, that's why they didn't want us to read. Let me tell you why they didn't want us to read. It goes deeper than just us not being able to communicate. They were so threatened at our skill, our wisdom, and our ability. They know if we could read, we would dream. If we ever begin to dream, we would change and roll the tide from where we were, and things would begin to reverse. So they tried to keep books out of our hands so they could keep dreams out of our head. This is why Dr. Martin Luther King's speech on I Have a Dream is so powerful. Dreaming comes from being informed. Because when you're informed, it creates a scope or a place for your imagination to soar. The more evidence you have, the more information you have, the bigger your dreams become. So when you're limited in knowledge and understanding and you cannot read, you cannot dream. So when Dr. Martin Luther King began to declare, I have a dream, we see the brilliance in who we are in him. Yeti Stacy, good morning to you. DeJuan McIntyre said good morning to you. Fonda Oliver says, I think I read somewhere that blacks weren't even America's first choice for using them as slaves, and that's why I think they were looking for a special type of people, and they found it in us. Here's the reality. Here's the reality. they had their eyes on us. They didn't just, they set out to find people initially to partner with. Let me tell you how evil America is. Initially, they set out to sell for partners. Let's find people around the world that we can collaborate and bring our gifts together. And they ran into some people who tried to hinder their journey. And I'm trying to pack a gallon into a pint. Long story short, they defeated them, and they began to see how good they were at fighting. When they saw how good they were, then they wanted to steal. They had their eyes on us. They knew what we were capable of. Listen to me. They didn't just stumble up on Africa. They had been studying it. There were many that went before to scope out the land. This is how America moved. They knew how brilliant we are. We were. That's why they wanted us. Let me give you this. Every time you suppress the dream that's inside of you, you hinder the dreamer from coming out. There's a dreamer in you, and the dream has been given as a gift, not only to you, but for us. When you act on the dream, when you release the dream, you capture what is attacking and holding others in bondage. This is why we have to have a life where we are serving humanity on every level. If your life does not reflect that of giving to make humanity better, you are a selfish person, and you are walking in reverse of what God intended for you to do in this life. Everything that God does, he does it to move us forward. If you are not moving forward, you are embracing the past. And when you embrace the past, you automatically void the future. You don't know who you will be until you activate the dreamer, the dream that's on the inside of you. My bro, Irvin Jones, is on this morning. There's a dreamer in you, and it's bigger than the space that you're in. This is why it's called a dream, because it's liquid. It has the dream becomes the box that you place it in. So if you place a big dream in a small area, it's going to function where it is, and it's going to become what that environment requires. If it's a small environment, it's not that the dream is small. It's your capacity to believe is small. Your dream is going to manifest at the level of faith that you have. If you don't believe it's big and it can change the world, even though it was given to you to change the world, it will never change the world, because what you have is contingent on how you believe. You will only grow to the capacity of the space where you believe. What you hear about you is so important because it frames who you will be in life. This is why we have to be reminded of how great we are, because society and the culture does not reflect that greatness. They think all we can do is play sports and do music. But I want to remind America, it was 4 black girls that got you into space. We're more than musicians and sports stars. We're mathematicians. We're engineers. If you do your research on the development of the White House, you will see a black man led the cause for the bill. Listen, There's a wisdom that you have that's internal. You feed that wisdom by your environment of information. The more information you have, the more that wisdom grows. The more that wisdom grows, the greater the capacity to understand that you will have, and it's a rhythm that you get in. I want to say this about Irvin Jones. Last year, haven't done much of them this year, but I'm getting ready to do more. Getting ready to do more. I've got 3 great things that I'm working on right now. But last year, we got an opportunity. I did a symposium. We called it the Master's Class, and it was a play on the words. I was speaking of the Master God. We're the students. Even with that, some people were offended because they thought I was calling us the masters. And if I did, it's about right. You can do what you. It's a beautiful thing about having a will. You can do what you want. But anyway, we got together. Bishop Irvin Jones, Sherry Jones Moffett, Pastor Mark Dickerson, Meacham Clark, myself, and we hosted a master's class and we talked about worship. And we got a chance to see the brilliance, the wisdom in different mindsets. Now, I've talked about producing a show for Irvin Jones, but things have happened. But you ought to hear the wisdom that's in his voice. Just because a person is not on a national platform as a T.D. Jakes, Tavis Smiley, Cornell, some of the great minds, Barack Obama, doesn't mean they lack the wisdom or information. Some of God's best talent has been hidden until the atmosphere was right to release them. And I'm telling y'all hear me out. A lot of the things and a lot of the unfortunate things that are happening in our world and in our society, it's the wickedness of men on display. And God will allow their wickedness to create a ground so the right person can rise up and lead. For 4 years, we had an oppressor in office. Let me tell you why the Republicans didn't. I'm neither Republican or Democrat. I go with who I think is right. But the Republicans lost this election by a landslide. Why? Because it took 4 years of oppression for people to see they don't want anything else like that leading them. The people overturned the president. And he cried about how they were manipulating and changing votes. Yet we hear him on a phone call where he's telling them how many votes he needs, and I need you to make it happen. Everything that he accused other people of doing to steal the election is what he was guilty. It's what we found him guilty of. Why? Because when evil leads, deceit is spread. Biden got in by a landslide because America was tired. But had not it seen those 4 years of evil, remember, the same American people that put him in office took him out. Every president is known for a war or something significant as it relates to a battle. Some presidents are known for more. We know that George Bush, 2 terms, He's known for the Iraqi war, the Afghanistan war, flying over Katrina. 9/11 happened on his watch. Obama gets in office by pointing out the failures in the Bush administration. America was tired of Bush. They were tired of the Republican Party. And look who comes up out of the trenches. Obama is known for ending the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Donald Trump is known for the war he set on his own people. He put America at war against each other. And he created an atmosphere that was conducive for the hate that had been hidden in many white people's heart to manifest. Hey, people begin to rise against each other. We see this. For someone walking on your grass, you pull a gun out and it's okay. It's okay for white men, Nazis, walking down the street with AK-47s, skinheads, with a flag of hate in their hand. And they are allowed to not only have their own parade, your president called them good people. Then when Black Lives Matter tried to meet, the armed guards were released. And they tried to make it where you couldn't even stand in one spot for longer than 15 seconds or they could arrest you. And that is what the oppressor does. The oppressor finds a way to be oppressive. Here's how great we are. We've always thought above them and better than them, because the things that they've tried to put in place to keep us down, we find a way to rise again. And I'm telling you, and I say it with the heart of God, we will rise again. We have the wisdom to know, and we have the skill to do. When we implement the wisdom that we have with the skill to do, we will overtake and own the land. I was looking at a buddy of mine, hate to call his name, but I am, Kevin Hargrave, and he put on Facebook that he had bought his first apartment building, not rented, bought. Well, you need to see that there's progress being made. Look at them arms. I'm sorry, y'all. Ooh, pick it. Okay. There's progress that is being made among you. I'm working with a group of people right now. All they're doing is buying property. Because the only way we're going to have a voice in this America that we built is we've got to own what our feet walk on. I want to encourage you. Stop investing in Gucci, Versace, Louis Vuitton, red bottom shoes. Stop it. Stop putting your money in depreciating assets. Invest your money in something that will work for you so you don't have to work for an oppressive white person or green person. Your freedom is in your hands. But in order for your hands to have the liberty that it needs to get what it needs to have, you've got to have the mindset and the wisdom to think above what's been thrown at you. You got to take your money and invest, buy land, buy rental properties, own something, invest in insurance. Get ahead of the game and learn how to make the game work for you so you don't have to work to make another man rich. You ought to be tired of that. We work to make them rich, and they use the money we made for them against us to oppress us and to keep us down. It's time out Who cares about your name brand clothing? What do you own? Well, I'm talking good this morning. What are you changing? How are you helping humanity? I believe this is even a charge for the Church of Jesus Christ in America. Listen, buy your block. I think the church is supposed to own the communities that it's in. When we own our communities, it gives us power and influence, and it gives us a seat at the table. Can you imagine that? The Encounter Church owning the East Side. Can you imagine that? So anything that they build on the East Side, guess who they're going to have to go through? Encounter Church. Can you imagine the city having to call Bishop Irvin Jones because they want to build something on the North Side? See, the way that we win and get ahead is through strategy. It's not emotions. It's not in marching. Marching brings awareness, but money brings the change. If we stop dining and shopping at their shopping centers and dining at their restaurants and take that money and invest it so that we can go back into their neighborhood and buy the land that their restaurant is on. Let me help you all out too. Black people, let me give you some good wisdom. Stop building these companies and putting your face on the front. Because you need that white dollar just like you need the black dollar. And once they see your face, they're not going to want to do business with you because they don't like black. Well, this is for my people. Well, you better be smart in your dealing so that you can get the revenue to go back and help your people. Stop putting your face on your businesses. Stop it. This is an online world now. Everything that has been done online. The consumer spends 70% of its dollars online. What does that say? If you're going to get in the game, you need to be able to offer something online. Let me tell you what I'm mostly grateful for. And I'm wrapping this up. Let me tell you what I'm mostly grateful for. I'm mostly grateful of the people that God has surrounded around me. And I'm not just talking about the ones that exist now. I'm talking about as a boy. Let me tell you who made me dream. One person doesn't get credit for my drive because my parents put me in a community of drivers. I think I was in first, second grade watching my mom go to school, study anatomy to become a nurse. She worked a full-time job, went to school full-time at night to become a nurse. In a time when black people weren't winning in the medical field, my mother decided she's going to become a nurse. She later switched her career to childcare, got a license, so she could not only own a daycare, run a daycare, wherever she goes, her license goes. And she learned how to barter and use her license to help different businesses. That's my mama. As a kid, watching my daddy in construction. He had his own construction business. My uncle, when I was a kid, black folk didn't live in Deerwood. But my uncle was building houses there, and he built the majority of Tinseltown. Y'all don't know Tinseltown was built by black people. And I'm not telling you what I heard. They're my family. I come from a generation of builders and survivors. I watched my uncle Ezekiel Haynes. This man had about 10 trucks for his construction business, running it. In an era in time when blacks didn't get contracts. I was raised in an era where my godfather at this time had the biggest black church in Jacksonville. Faust Temple Church of God in Christ, the second largest. This is before Bethel blew up, y'all. Bethel had about maybe 1,000. We had well over that. Bishop C.D. Kinsey, who not only pastored a church, but bought a community, multiple shopping centers, owned his own broadcasting company where he recorded his own services and had a direct line to air them on Channel 47 live. No other black church was doing that. This is what I came up around. This is what I saw as a kid. It built the dreamer inside of me. And this is why I will not accept, neither will I allow anybody to control what he's put on the inside of me. My dream is bigger. Your dream is bigger as well. You've just got to develop the tenacity to keep going. Some of you started community efforts and different things have happened. It's time for you to get back on your post with your dream. Just because it didn't work doesn't mean it will not work. Sometimes we try, and it's in the trying that we're gaining the knowledge and the information and the wisdom that is needed to propel forward. You ought to bless those days when things didn't work, because it gave you wisdom and it developed strength. You're stronger than you've ever been. You're wiser than you ever know, because God is trying to position you to do something that's never been done. But you've got to know how great you are. When I was 14 years old, I want to say I was praying in my bedroom. My bedroom was the only one that was downstairs. As I began to grow, my parents began to give me more privacy because I had siblings that were aggravating. And I was in prayer at 14 years old in my bedroom downstairs. And the Lord gave me this quote. It was created to worship and chosen to change the world. Didn't know what it meant then. Now I do. You were created to give God glory. Giving God glory does not mean clapping on 2 and 4 in church, clapping on 1 and 3, skipping, hopping at the white church like y'all black folk be around here doing. Y'all go over there and sing their music and forget about what you was raised on. You need both of them. That's not what giving God glory is. It's when you recognize that the purpose inside of you was created to do something beyond you. And as you begin to walk that thing out, that is how God gets the glory out of your life, because you don't allow anything to stop you, to hinder you, and to keep you from moving towards upward progression. You don't let anything stop. That's how he gets the glory. It's more than church. It's in how you live. You were created to be greater. You have the wisdom to know all things. There's nothing that's going to be hid from you. And you have the skill to get it accomplished in the earth. The only thing you really need to do at this point is start doing it because it's in you. And if you ever need to know how great you are, look at how society tries to treat you. Remember, the robber never goes after the bag woman. He goes after the one that has the goods. You have the goods, my friend. Thank you for your love, your loyalty, as well as your support. We've got some projects that we're getting ready to launch. Mother's Day is coming. Listen to me. I'm a church boy. So I decided last year that we were going to have Mother's Day concert to dedicate to our mothers. I want to do the same thing this year. We have a goal in mind. The reason I say I want to do, because if we don't meet our budget, we won't be able to necessarily do it for Mother's Day. We're going to do it. It just may not be for Mother's Day. We have to raise money to get these projects done. We have to. It's our only way. All right. I'll go broke trying to do it by myself. I believe that what he's put inside of me is to help encourage other people. I believe that you are my partners to help bring that to pass. So here's what I'm asking you to do if you can. Everybody, if you can. My Cash App is on the screen. We are about $8,000 away from our goal. We had an $11,000 goal. We have 3. We've got to raise $8,000 more. Here's what that does. That puts the concert. It's a concert video and it's a recording. This budget helps secures the building. It's going to be, I'm still not really doing this COVID stuff. We'll have a few people in the audience, but it's not going to be a concert where you just go to and pay to get in. It's not going to be that. You're going to be able to see the concert on different or various platforms online, because I'm still not doing this COVID stuff with y'all. Call it whatever you want. I need your help. Now, we can meet our budget today. We can meet our budget right now. We're lacking 8,000. We have 3. If 8 people say, you know what, Pickett, I'm going to do something I never did. We're going to give you 1,000 right now. If 8 people give me $1,000, we meet our goal. If 16 people give me 500, we'll meet our goal. If 32 people give $250, we'll meet our goal. We don't have the type of music that we need. I grew up on music that encouraged the heart, it lifted the spirit, and when you heard it, you knew God was in it. Let me give y'all. I'm gonna give you a little piece of what we did last year, just in case you are not privileged to be a part of what we did last year. Give me a second. So another problem is in our community, there is music of the times, music that flows with the times, but we forget about our grandmothers, our great grandmothers. We forget about those people of old because we're trying to embrace the new. Well, one of the things that we do with this concert is we bring old school music, new school music, and we merge them so it's something for everybody. Give me a second here. So I'm going to let you hear a little bit of last year.
That's what they did. Be all right. Be all now just clap your hands, everybody. Come on. Oh, song. They would sing it all night long. On the ocean, and it's moving this whole way. If your soul not anchored in Jesus, you will surely slip away. Yeah, the storm on the ocean, and it's moving this whole way. If your soul not anchored in Jesus, you will surely slip away. Come on, say, there's a storm out on the ocean, and it's moving this whole way. Aaron Daniels, if your soul anchored in Jesus, you will surely slip away. My auntie better say, slip away, y'all. Slip away, y'all. You will surely slip away. If your soul not anchored in Jesus, you will surely slip away. Oh, there's a storm out on the ocean, and it's moving this whole way. Come on, say, if your soul not anchored in Jesus, you will surely slip away. One more time, say, there's a storm out on the ocean, and it's moving this whole way. If your soul's not anchored in Jesus, you will surely. Now clap your hands, just clap your hands. When I was a little boy, there was a man by the name of Elder Vernon Brace. Elder Brace would get up and say this. He say, listen, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Oh, I've got a feeling everything's gonna be all right. Oh, well done, good and faithful son. Enter in the joy of the Lord. Say it again, come on. What do you want the You done for me. You done for me. You done for me. You done for me. We done for me. You done for me. When I was in trouble, you brought me over. You done for me. When I was in trouble, you brought me over. You done for me. 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 Didn't it too? You done for me. Didn't it too? You done for me. He didn't do it to you. You done for me. Didn't it bring you through? You done for me. Didn't it make a way? You done for me. Each and every day. You done for me. Everything you've done. 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 You done for me.
Man, I gotta turn that off because I'm getting caught up. Listen, that's what we did last year for Mother's Day. And if the past is any indication of things being better in the future, listen, we going in for Mother's Day. Spoke with the person who owns the facility on yesterday on where we're going to host this concert. And it's going to be a concert as well as a recording. Now, I'll play a little bit more in a second, but here's what I need you to do. You've got to help me get this out. You've got to help me do this. So the music that we released, the single that we released, we've sold over 25,000. We're moving towards 30,000 copies, and we're grateful to God for that. We believe that there is a spot in music for us, and we're going to take that spot, but we cannot do it without your help, okay? So here's what I need you to do. I need you, I'm going to play a little bit more of this. I need you to be thinking right now about what you can give to help us complete this goal. I believe we need more heart and soul touching music. Hold on a second here. All right, let's see here.
I should have been dead, sleeping in my grave. But you made that. Get back, behave. You done for me. 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 We done for me. You done for me. When I was in trouble, you brought me over. You done for me. When I was in trouble, you brought me over. You done for me. You done for me. You done for me. You done for
at your neighbor, say neighbor. He been good. He been so good. He been so good. Come on, put your hands on it. Come on. See, what's been happening to some of y'all? You done went to these new school churches and you done forgot your beat. It's all right. I know y'all in love with CCM music. I love it too. But you can't leave your roots. This is the foundation for how we built. So we don't move this out of the way to welcome CCM. We welcome CCM to this is what we do. Now, when I was a boy, we would go to church, the Now. And while we were there in church, the Now, we would have church, the Verb. So if you're a little confused as to what's going on, this is what we call church. So if y'all don't clap on 2 and 4 in your church, you ain't at your church. Just follow us. Come on. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. This is how I was raised. What's his name? What's his name? Jesus. What's his name? Jesus. What's his name? Jesus. I dare you call him. 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 Jesus. That's power. Jesus. In his name. Jesus. Healing. Jesus. In his name. Jesus. Call on Jesus. Jesus. Call on Jesus. Jesus. Call on Jesus. Jesus, 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 Jesus.
Stuff, I'm telling you, that's the kind of stuff that we need to deal with the world where we are right now. I am a believer. I'm a believer. I am a believer that God moves through music. I believe when not only does he move through it because he created it for his glory and he uses us to give it back, but when we sing to him and sing his word, things begin to happen in the earth. So here's what I've got. My cousin is helping me, and my cousin just informed me that many of you are giving. Listen to me for the Mother's Day concert. Here's what we're going to do. I need whoever gives. I'm going to do an entire show on just thanking you for your giving, thanking you for your gift, and you're going to be one of our sponsors. Here's what we need. We need $7,000. 7,000. We needed 8. We only need 7 now. I need your help to get this done. Now, here's the deal. Some of you can say, you know what? I need to invest in something that's going to go around the world. I know it's going around the world. Let me tell you how. The proof is in the pudding. We've done this before. And we got the world attention. And we're going to do it again. This time it's going to be bigger and better. But I need your help. The Cash App is on the screen. If you would, Cash App is now 1,000, 500, 2,000. Maybe there's somebody that's on your heart. You're like, you know what, Pickett? You don't have to ask no more. I'm going to write the entire check. Whoever that is, go ahead and do that now. We're making music to bring people close to each other and bring them close to God. Some of you, some of our monthly sponsors, you say, hey, I sponsor you monthly, but I want to do more than what I'm doing monthly to support this Mother's Day concert. I need you to do it. We're going to make it happen. And my confession is faith is it's going to be online on Mother's Day. In order to do that, we've got to get this budget met. We're almost there. And I believe that it's going to happen. He's going to cause you to do it. So the Cash App is on the screen. You can give it now. Of course, normally we'd be off by now. I don't care what city you're in. Your giving helps support the work that we do. If Coffee Time has done anything to encourage you, to bless you, I encourage you to give back to the place that you've benefited from. All right? Let me say thank you in advance. We're going to meet this goal, and I'm looking forward to this concert, this recording. All right? Are you all giving? And we're going to do a special show to all of the sponsors, to all of those who not just sponsor us monthly, but who's helped in terms of this Mother's Day concert. I'm encouraged by your gift. I'm encouraged because you show up every day. We've been doing this for almost 10 years. It's been 9 years going on 10. We've been here. You've been here. Some have come, some have gone. A lot of people go back and watch the replay, but you've been consistent. For that, I'm grateful. Thank you. Your support in helping us get this out, God gives you the credit for it going out. That's what partnership is. So I appreciate you. I know it's at least 3 more people that can help me out. Pierre Kendrick is on. Pierre, I know you can give $1,000 towards this Mother's Day concert. Matter of fact, we may need to get you to play on it as well. Oh, yeah, it's coming in. Thank you. Thank you. There are others of you, you say, you know what, Pickett, if I had $1,000, boy, you'd have it. I don't have 1,000, but I have 500. Give it. Give it. It impacts our world. We need to be able to be in places where when the heart is hurting, you can pull some music and listen to it and feel your own spirits lift. That's what our music does. Matter of fact, let me play the single that we wrote. Let me play the single we did. The Mother's Day concert was also a single release. I'm going to play this single for you right quick. I think I'm going to do it on here. This has a little more bass. Now, on my comments, it says, I do not own the rights to this music. I keep that there. I keep that there because I play a lot of music that I don't own the rights to. But listen, I wrote this song, I own this song, and I own the rights to it. So don't let that throw you. I put that on there one time before, and somebody say, you don't own the rights to your song? Oh, I own all the rights to my song. You best believe it. I'm going to play this song, and I need you all while I'm playing it. I'm going to do the playing, you do the giving. Okay? Check it out. Here we go. Oh, let me rewind it. There we go. So so that song there, believe it or not, of course, the Lord gave me that song in one of the most difficult times of my life, and we released it not really truthfully. After my brother went home to be with the Lord, Troy Sneed, I didn't think the song was going to go many places because I was depending on Troy. I've got to be honest, I was depending on him. And to my surprise, not only did God bless, but you, the people, gave overwhelming support. One of the reasons I show up every morning, I started it because I believed in it. I got discouraged at times. I would still show up. But after 9 years, you told me that this is where I'm supposed to be. It's kind of like people don't know this, but the Apostle Paul, he didn't start churches because he got some light in a window. Mm-mm. The people sent Paul out, and Paul began to plant ministries, churches all over the world. And as a result of that, as a result of the people, his work was made manifest to us. And that's how I feel about it. I don't have the support of some corporate office. I don't have some support of a local assembly necessarily, but I have grateful and faithful people who show up all the time. And every time I thought about cutting this out, ending it, due to other opportunities that I thought were better, some kind of way, it just wouldn't happen. So that lets me know that this is the place that I'm called to. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for you. You've allowed us to touch so many lives as a result of your support and your faithfulness. I can't thank you enough. And for this Mother's Day concert, if anybody from Coffee Time wants to be there, oh, you got a free ticket. Trust. You're Coffee Time, you own, and you want to be there because the Mother's Day concert, it's invitation only because of COVID. Straight up. But you'll be able to come at no charge, especially all of our partners, no charge, and you'll be able to bring at least 2 guests. But everybody else that's on Coffee Time that desires to come, whether you're in town or out, when we start the list, because we're doing everything for CDC guidelines and we're doing everything according to my comfort, I'm going to be honest, y'all. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to be engaged with a bunch of people and not knowing who got COVID and who got not. And I know the blood covers me, but I'm wise. Those that are giving, thank you so much for your gifts. I'm going to say this. Whoever gives towards this Mother's Day concert, I don't care the amount. You definitely have an invitation. We're doing invitation only. So make sure you give. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Remember, you were born to win, predestined to succeed. Without your ear, I don't have a voice. You make this possible. We are a match made in heaven, and I'm so glad God has called us to do life together. You're born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you that the wisdom on the inside of you is not able to handle. You've got to calm down, slow down, be quiet, and let wisdom speak. When wisdom speaks, you will always win. You all have a great day. Keep giving. That's the Cash App right there. I'm going to play this, and this is going to be our exit today. You all have a great day. Be productive. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. And remember to think higher. Speak life. So many people are giving. You're making my heart smile and you're about to make me cry. Thank you for your gifts. Please continue to giving. I'm going to go back to one of the live sessions. I am. Your gift made me do this. I'm going to go back to the live session. And there's a song that I wrote called Sovereign. Sovereign. And I'm not going to play the whole song, just a portion of it. I wrote this song last year. COVID was going on. I just lost my best friend, Troy Sneed. And then my auntie Betty in Quincy, Florida died. There was just a lot of deaths going on, a lot of things going on. And God gave me this song, Sovereign. I'm going to play it for you. All right. I'm not going to play all of it, just a portion.
ZZ, just say healer.
You're my healer, you're my healer, yes, you are. My healer, yes, you are.
Say it again, somebody needs to hear it.
By your stripes we are healed. You're Jehovah Rapha, God. You're Jehovah, I heal. You're the healer. Yes,
Sam, can you call him Savior?
Savior, my Savior, my Savior, you are my Savior. You're my Savior, yes you are, Lord. You're my Savior, yes you are, Lord. You're my Savior, Lord.
Tanisha, can you call him Abel?
He is able. Lord, you're able to meet every need. My God is able to heal every hurt. My God is more than able. Oh, you're able. Oh, Lord, you're able. You're able. Oh,
Say healer,
healer,
Savior,
Savior,
able. And I need thee, oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, Savior. I come to thee. Praising like his word. Let everything that happens lift up your voice in Zion. Give God glory. He's still good. He's still God. And he's in control. Can I take 30 seconds and just give him some footwork? Just 30 seconds wherever you're at.
All right. Listen, you all have showed out this morning. Thank you so much for your gifts. I'm going to on another show when we get what we need. I'm going to acknowledge everybody. Thank you for your giving. Continue to give. Maybe you say, you know what, T, I don't have it right now. I don't have it right now, but I have it on such and such a date. The Cash App is on the screen. You can give it when you get it. We're going to believe that we have it. Yes, we're going to do this Mother's Day concert, and it's a project that's going to go. We're speaking in advance around the world. As great as the single has been, I'm believing that this project is going to do even more and be even greater. And I'm able to do that because I know without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, God sent you to support what we have here. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm humbled by it. And I want to thank you with all my heart, soul, and mind. Thank you. Y'all go have a great day and remember to think higher, speak life. I think I'm going to end. You know what I'm going to do? I want to end on a song. Whose song should I end with? Oh, I know. I'm going to bless y'all real good. I'm going to bless you real good with the song that I listen to. I've got to get out of here. I have a meeting. But I'm not going to go until I play this song. It's one of my musical heroes. The clip is old, but still powerful. Okay? I said it's old, but it's still powerful. Okay, I've got to get it on the screen. This is how I'm going to leave. I'm not going to play my outro as I normally would. I'm going to play this song. It's one of my favorite. In times of stress, when I'm distressed, this is what I listen to. This is what I fall back on.
Great is thy faithfulness, O God my Father. There is no shadow of turning. With thee thou changest not. Thy compassions, they fail not. And as thou hast been, thou forever will be. That's good to know. I mean, summer and winter, springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses, join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, your mercy and love. Great is I can't sing it. Thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. Oh, shout. And all I have needed, has provided. Hallelujah. Yes, great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Stand right there, brother. The thing I like is he's given pardon for all my sins. And he's given peace that always endureth. Thine own dear presence to cheer and to guide. He gives strength for today and bright hopes for tomorrow. Blessings all mine with 10,000 beside. Oh, great is thy faithfulness. Yes, yes, yes. Great is thy faithfulness. Every time I wake up in the morning, new mercies, new mercies, brand new mercy. I see. Yes. And all that I need. Thy blessed hand, your precious hand has provided.
Yes. That's why I say great is thy faithfulness.